Welcome to Fake Presidents, a real podcast about, well, you know.
Each episode will take a deep dive into a fictional American president from pop culture to see just how much fiction there really is.
We're two former political junkies who do like talking about politics. We just don't like talking about actual real-life politics.
Because it's just too damn depressing.
I'm Eric Buckman, a former political consultant turned TV writer.
And I'm Ben Oren, a former journalist, sometimes speechwriter, and all-the-time TV producer.
And for those of you who stayed tuned till the very end, the post-credit sequence of our last episode, you might be expecting that we'd be covering Armageddon this month, because that's what we said we'd be covering. You got to hear us debate back and forth, what should we do next, and come to a consensus and agreement on that movie, only to then find post-recording that it's not streaming on any services anywhere.
Yeah, it felt like a little too much work.
To save you all, our audience, our fans, the precious $3 to $4 it would take to rent it.
Times are tough. We know it's a holiday time. You need those $3-4 to get your loved ones the gifts that they want.
Or they don't want. Whichever.
Labubus don't grow on trees.
They also don't cost $3 or $4.
I don't know the backstory for Labubus. Maybe they do grow on trees. The same way Cabbage Patch Kids grow out of a cabbage patch.
Yeah, we had an incident during our holiday gift giving this year where, because you know those Labubus, they come in blind boxes.
Mm-hmm. You got a bad Labubu?
No, but the thing is you don't know what it is. And so that means there's a chance you might get one that you already have.
A double Labubu.
So if you only have one Labubu and you get a box to open a second Labubu, and the second Labubu is the same as your first Labubu, that's a big Labubu.
That's a big Labubu. That happened?
Yeah, she was not happy. Huh? But anyway, as I was saying, we decided to save you the $3 to $4. We then debated what to do next.
It was a spirited debate.
We decided we would close the circle on, so to speak, on a past former fictional president who we really enjoyed and have been dying to cover again, Mr. Bruce Greenwood. We first covered him in one of our earliest episodes many years ago.
National Treasure, Book of Secrets.
The second movie in the National Treasure franchise.
He played this in the second movie of a franchise, a beloved franchise. He played the president. Yeah. So when this beloved franchise was franchising and decided to have a second movie and that they're going to have an American president in it, they're like, duh, there's only one person who can play this role, Bruce Greenwood.
Bruce motherfucking Greenwood.
So what movie are we doing this week, Eric?
That would be Kingsman 2, but they don't use 2 in the title. It's just Kingsman, The Golden Circle. As not to be confused with Kingsman, The Secret Service, which was the first movie in the series.
Or The King's Men, which was the King's Man, which is the third movie that came out in 2021, which based off of that title would make you think it's the first movie.
It's a prequel. It does take place during World War I.
Yes, so if we were to watch them in order, that would be the first one we would watch.
It's also not Argyle, the movie done for the Apple service, a big spy caper, that has a twist in the mid-credit sequence where you find out that takes place in the Kingsman universe.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll watch it. I'll go straight to the mid-credit sequence.
It's also Matthew Vaughn.
My understanding is that movie is not a good one.
I mean, it is what it is. The problem is you can kind of see a lot of the turns coming, but if you just want more of the Matthew Vaughn experience, it is what it is. It's pure, unadulterated MV.
That MV. Well, that's what he's doing in this one. The Kingsman, The Golden Circle, 2017.
My name is Andrew Shepard, and I am the president.
Who made this movie, Ben?
This was directed by Sir Matthew Vaughn. Did you know that he was knighted?
Really?
Yeah. Did you also know that he's married to Claudia Schiffer?
Was it David Copperfield at least engaged to her at some point?
Yeah.
Wow.
But Matthew Vaughn has got the real magic.
Yeah.
But he's done, Matthew Vaughn, he does big, fun, loud action movies. He directed Kick-Ass. He directed X-Men First Class. He directed The Kingsman.
Argyle got a start. Not a start, but at least the movie that I think put him on the map was Layer Cake, which also put Daniel Craig on the map.
Yeah.
So even though Daniel Craig went on to do James Bond, Matthew Vaughn found his own spy franchise.
Indeed. And also before that, I mean, he was a producer on Lock, Stock, and Snatch. So he's part of that, like, hyper masculine British cinema Guy Ritchie-ville that came out in, like, the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. You might say he's one of Guy's guys.
He's one of Guy's guys. He's a guy's guy.
Yeah.
But he co-wrote this movie, though, with Jane Goldman, who they've worked together on just about all of his movies.
This is an adaptation, right? Based off of a comic book series, or at least graphic novels of some kind?
That is correct.
Who's in this movie?
This has got a pretty good cast. I mean, a lot of returning actors from the first one. Taron Egerton plays Eggsy, who's like the main spy guy in this. He played the monkey in Sing. He also played the same monkey in Sing 2. He played Elton John in Rocket Man.
Elton John, you say?
Yeah. Well, we'll get to him. Colin Firth is in it as his mentor, Harry Hart. He's been in The English Patient. He was in Shakespeare in Love. He was in Love Actually. He was in Bridget Jones. Basically anything that's British, Colin Firth is in legally. Yeah, it's like in the Magna Carta.
He's the canonical Mr. Darcy, I think, to most people of a certain age. And by people of a certain age, I mean women over the age of 40.
Yeah, Gen X.
Post-millennial.
Our bad guy in the movie is actually a bad gal, Julianne Moore. She plays Poppy Adams. She's in Boogie Nights. She's in Big Lebowski, Hunger Games, Game Change. She's in Game Change. She was Sarah Palin, which luckily she never became a real president.
Julianne Moore? She still has time.
Well, yeah, but Sarah Palin also still has time, unfortunately. Mark Strong is in the movie. He plays Merlin, not Merlin the Magician, but codename Merlin, because the Kingsmen they're not descendants of the Round Table, but they just took it and ran with it, where everybody's code names are based around it. I mean, he was in Sherlock Holmes, he was in Shazam, he was in Zero Dark 30. Pedro Pascal's in it. He's not British. He plays an American in it.
A very pre-Famo Pedro.
Yeah, pre-Famo Pedro. This was after Game of Thrones, after Narco, before Wonder Woman, which we did. We did that episode a couple of years ago.
Pedro, Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. He does not play a Brit in it. Also not playing a Brit is Halle Berry.
Yeah. And
also,
Jeff Bridges. Who we did
also
cover.
not playing a Brit. Who was also in Lebowski with Julianne Moore. And this is a bookend for 2025 because he was in The Contender.
Which was our first movie of the year.
The first movie of 2025. Also, Emily Watson's in the class playing the president's chief of staff.
Correct.
And we got Elton John in this movie.
Who's he playing, Ben?
Himself.
Whoa.
Completely weird, random choice.
And he's game. He does whatever Sir Matthew Vaughn asks of him.
Well, he's a sir also, right? He's Sir Elton John.
Two sirs.
So I think he's legally obligated under Sir law to do it. Like if he was to ask another sir to like sing a song with him, they'd have to. And rounding it out, we got Bruce Greenwood, President of the United States. Even I think we might have said it in the podcast we did years ago when National Treasure that he's like the go-to guy to play the president because he also played JFK in 13 Days.
JFK blown away. Speaking of Elton John.
No,
not speaking of Elton John. Speaking of Billy Joel, who toured with Elton John
They
in
did
the 90s.
the Piano Men tour. The Pianos Men tour.
Dueling. Were they dueling pianos? No?
No.
Yes?
Maybe. Yeah. I think they played on the same piano. They played Heart and Soul. That's how they ended. That's how they ended every concert, by playing Heart and Soul.
How dare you come into this office and bark at me like some little junkyard dog? I am the President of the United States.
So the plot. Let's go back to the first movie just for 1 second, just so we can set up the world of Kingsman. It's kind of like Men in Black meets Spy Kids meets 4chan? Not the racist parts of 4chan, but the parts where people just try to like say the most shocking things to each other.
With this, it's witnessing the most visual, shocking things.
Yes.
But it's all cartoony, like it looks cheap, but I think that's the choice because you could go along for the ride if it looks like a live action cartoon.
Yeah, there's some sequences that are just truly stunning. You can tell that's really a significant portion of the $100 million budget of these movies. And then there's other sequences that look like they were filmed on the blue screen like a local TV newscaster, just really quickly. It all goes to like the whole, it's very, I say Spy Kids because Robert Rodriguez does basically the same thing. Matthew Vaughn, Robert Rodriguez, once they get an idea in their head of a story they want to tell, they will tell that complete story, whether they have the budget or not. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they will find a way to still make it work. But in that first movie, we saw how Taron Egerton's Eggsy character got recruited by the Kingsmen, the Secret Service, which is an independent spy agency. It's not MI6. They're independent of the British government, yet headquartered in Great Britain. Specifically, they are hidden in like a high-end tailoring shop, the Kingsman Tailoring Service. Very upper crust, very stiff upper lip, very dignified. All the agents, as we mentioned, are given the names of Arthurian knights. Eggsy inherits the codename Galahad after the, spoiler alert, passing of his mentor, played by Colin Firth, in the first movie, Dead, Dead, Dead. He could not be more dead in that movie. The first movie has the Kingsmen square off against a billionaire played by Sam Jackson who plans to use evil cell phone SIM cards to spread a rage virus of sorts across the planet.
Samuel L. Jackson character in that is like so borderline offensive. Like, he plays it with this crazy lisp, and he's essentially Russell Simmons, but it's like crazy. It's crazy town.
It is. And so world leaders and the elite were given a chip in their neck that would make them immune to this rage signal. Unfortunately, during the climax of that movie, the signal gets put into reverse, and all of a sudden the heads of the world's richest and most powerful people who are supposed to be protected, they don't get the rage. They just get their heads blown up.
Oh, oops.
Blown up, starting in the neck, so blown off. And one of these people is a then current president of the United States who from behind looks an awful lot like Barack Obama.
That's fucked up. I forgot about that.
Anyway, that's why I mentioned all that, because there is a president in that movie, possibly actual Barack Obama. The second movie has the Kingsmen square off against the Golden Circle, a drug cartel headed by Julianne Moore. The movie basically opens with her utilizing a Kingsman reject from the first movie to hack into the Kingsman servers to learn the whereabouts of all the current Kingsman agents, where they are all then killed on screen somewhat graphically. And only Merlin and Eggsy survive.
Julianne Moore's character, she's quite a specific character because she's there's a 50s vibe, 50s, 60s vibe to her. She's very kind.
And like the Big Lebowski, she likes to hang out in a bowling alley.
Yeah, she's lives, it's not in exile, she lives in hiding in
Cambodia.
Cambodia?
They say Cambodia, yeah.
Yeah.
And this isn't just any ordinary drug cartel.
Yeah, where she lives is set up to be like a 1950s style area of like Disneyland, where there's the diner, there's the bowling alley, there's the movie theater. But essentially, she has also released a virus into her drugs that will cause hundreds of millions of people to die. But she doesn't want that to happen. What she really wants is to stop living in hiding. She wants to go legit with the drug business. So she essentially holds the world hostage, holds all these people hostage, and says she will release the antidote to everybody if, starting with the United States, if the United States legalizes drugs.
Yes, she turns to the American president first as the leader of the free world to basically be the negotiator for the rest of the planet. And for some reason, she identified the Kingsmen specifically as the only group of people out there who could stop her, which is interesting because
there's also the Statesmen. Yeah, there's the American version of it called the Statesmen.
Yeah. So Merlin and Eggsy, they're forced to team up with their American counterparts, the Statesmen, who are headquartered secretly at a Kentucky distillery that I presume is mostly famous for making bourbon. Mm-hmm. Unlike the Kingsman tailor shop, which is mostly for show, if not entirely, the Statesman alcohol business is pretty darn successful, and all their agents are named after types of alcohol, except for their Q character, played by Halle Berry, who goes by Ginger Ale. Channing Tatum plays Agent Tequila. If you're wondering why he isn't in more of the movie, it's because he was very busy that year when they were filming the movie, and they couldn't get him for more than a few days, which is why then Pedro Pascal comes in to play Agent Whiskey. One character becomes two, because they still wanted to keep their Channing Tatum, even if they could only get him for a week. And then, and Jeff Bridges, his code name, I don't think we said, it's Champagne. But of course, because he's from Kentucky, he doesn't want to go by such a finicky, highfalutin, foreign French term. He just goes by Champ.
Champ.
And so after Poppy kills off almost all the Kingsmen, she triggers the engineered virus hidden in the drugs that she makes. And this is where I should mention that she is not just any old drug producer, distributor. She's the most successful one of all time. And she's like Harvard educated. She's got an MBA. She's really she-bossing it up. She's leaned in. She's leaned in. Which now threatens to kill. You mentioned hundreds of millions. There's potentially billions of people whose lives are at stake here if the president of the United States doesn't meet her demands. Which takes us now to him. I guess we can say the movie ends with them thwarting her plan.
Yeah, they thwart the plan.
Yeah, they thwart the plan. But I don't know. Do we need to talk any more about the plot of this movie, or can we get into some Bruce Greenwood?
Let's get to Bruce Greenwood.
Yeah.
Because his 4 scenes in the movie tell us everything we need to know.
Scene 1, he's just kind of listening to Poppy as she sends out a signal to interrupt this broadcast across the globe to explain what's going on.
Mr. President, my name is Poppy Adams.
I believe the UN has no teeth, so I've selected you as leader of the free world to receive this communication. And I invite you to begin negotiations
In the largest scale hostage situation in history.
And why all of a sudden a lot of people are starting to turn blue or get blue veins.
A few weeks ago, an engineered virus was released contained in all varieties of my product. Cannabis, cocaine, heroin, opium, ecstasy, and crystal meth. Victims present with stage 1 symptoms. A blue rash.
She calls it a rash, but it's like an internal rash.
There's like a dancing sequence where you start dancing.
Mania. It's a mania.
Second stage symptoms appear. Mania. As the virus enters the brain.
Then the paralysis.
Stage 3. Paralysis. Muscles enter a state of catastrophic seizure. And once the muscles of the thorax become affected, breathing becomes impossible, leading to a very nasty death within 12 hours.
The virus has been released in cannabis, cocaine, heroin, opium, ecstasy, and crystal meth.
All of which was found, I think, in Diddy's hotel room when he was arrested. Did you watch the Diddy doc?
I have not watched the Diddy doc.
Oh, the Diddy doc is really... Guys, everybody listening to this, finish listening to this, and then go watch the Diddy doc. And then let's all come to our Patreon page and let's talk.
But I have good news to the millions already affected. It doesn't have to be this way. I have an antidote. 100% effective and ready to ship out worldwide at a moment's notice. If the following conditions are met.
And then her demand is to end the war on drugs, legalize all drugs, and then create a marketplace where all drugs can be sold legally and taxed.
all classes of substance are legalized, paving the way to a new marketplace in which sales are regulated and taxed.
This is what she says to the President of the United States. Meet my terms, and I look forward to keeping our beloved country great, boosting our annual economy, and easing spending on law enforcement. So somehow she melded both MAGA and defund the police into one ethos.
Save lives. Legalize.
Yeah, save lives, legalize. That's what she says. And by the way, she goes straight to the President of the United States because the UN has no teeth, are her words.
Yeah. And so when we finally do hear the President, we hear him say what we think he's going to do.
Bear a presidential decree, tell intelligence and law enforcement to stand down. We're going to dance to this lady's tune.
He basically he announces he intends to meet her demands. At least to tell the public that. But what's he really going to do, Ben?
He has no intention because he's playing 4D chess here.
Proposing is we appear to agree to her demands to prevent global panic and then let the junkie scum go down in flames.
Because he's like, I just won the war on drugs because we're going to get rid of all the addicts. And if we get rid of all the addicts, she has nobody to sell drugs to. Done deal. We did it, guys. War on drugs is over.
No drug users, no drug trade. It's a win-win situation here.
But there is one person in the circle who has an issue with that. Chief of Staff Fox, Emily Watson.
Well, is it a circle? It's more of like a triangle. They didn't really have a big budget for advisors in this movie. So he has his chief of staff and somebody who's presumably in the military.
Because he wears a uniform, Ben?
Yeah, because he wears a uniform.
But the chief of staff has an issue. She says, what about the people who are just experimenting? Folks who self-medicate. Functioning professionals. Kids!
Yeah, we're like, lady, we know you're talking about yourself, okay? Like, you're outing yourself here.
And this is all going on while Fox News is in the background, having just delivered some exposition, which is why it got very confusing when he responds to her by saying, spare me the crap, Fox.
Spare me the crap, Fox. The fact is, this presidency has just won the war on drugs.
To which the military guy's like, congratulations.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. And that deserves a toast.
Yeah, that deserves a toast. And then that's when we first see that there is a bottle of Statesman whiskey in the Oval Office, which is actually a secret wiretap. The Statesmen, along with our last two Kingsmen, are listening in on the whole thing.
Yeah, and we hear some good juju in there. He's spilling the tea about what he wants to do with all the addicts, the people who are all paralyzed and preparing to be paralyzed. He says he wants to declare martial law. He wants to order a press blackout, that he wants to get all the users in cages and stadiums pretty much.
The government today urged Golden Circle victims to report to the temporary field hospitals now set up across the country.
The one time we do see one of these emergency hospitals set up, it's in a football stadium, shades of the Silver Dome.
Yeah.
And, very New Orleans during Katrina. Yeah, people being shepherded in where they're given much worse conditions than they were expecting.
The president's handling of the crisis has been commended by other world leaders.
Fox News says the president's doing a great job.
Yeah, everyone seems to think he's doing a good job.
Damn, politics has never been so easy. Oh, Jesus. Fox.
Which is when he looks over and sees that Emily Watson now has blue veins.
Yep.
She's got the thing. And she tells him, look, she works 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, and she can't do that without chemical help. Innocent people like me, she says, they are suffering too. They're going to die.
But the president is just like, I'm disappointed in you.
Disappointed and disgusted.
But to be fair to the president of the United States, if somebody within your inner circle is using drugs secretly, then they're a security risk.
Interesting, Ben. So you're basically siding with the president. Okay, we'll get into it. Was he right? Was he wrong? Yeah, we'll discuss this.
We'll get there.
And that's when we first see that inside these field hospitals are actually just cages stacked upon each other.
Stacked upon stacked upon stacked.
Yeah. People are being kept in cages until they presumably die. That POTUS's plan. So some people seem to, I think, know that he has no intention of going through, but not many. And and then next time we see the president, he's actually Zooming with Poppy and Poppy's lawyer.
Yeah, at this point, he doesn't have anybody else in the Oval Office with him at all. He's handling it himself. He's the best at negotiating.
Yeah, what's weird is she says she's sending her lawyer over with the documents for him to sign. I'm like, is that a good idea?
Especially you're in Cambodia. That'll take a little bit.
Would you DocuSign, maybe?
Yeah, just send it over. But it looks like people are protesting outside the White House. Yeah.
We were told that he seems happy with his response. So any protesting going on, maybe they're just protesting the overall situation. I don't know. We got some stuff to talk about. But anyway, what she said, Poppy says to him is once you countersign, it becomes an executive decree and you can't back out and I will release the antidote, which we find out will be done via drones. Yeah. And then after he hangs up with no intention to sign, what's he say, Ben?
He's quite misogynistic, Eric.
What's he say, Ben? You say it.
He says, dumb bitch.
You dumb B word.
Well, I didn't know I could say B word. Now I just said dumb bitch. Now it could be taken out of context. The TMZ's going to have a field day with this one, Eric.
You dumb bitch.
And so then we cut away to the super spies doing their super spy thing in Cambodia. I guess they go to Italy first and then Cambodia. They're going around the world.
Whatever. They save the day.
How? Because I'm the goddamn president of the United States of America.
The next time we are in D.C., it's because we find out that the president has been impeached.
Not only impeached, he is cuffed. He's cuffed. I don't know why he's cuffed.
It's an interesting
president
end.
doesn't get cuffed if they're impeached.
Not only is the president impeached, but Fox News is celebrating how things ended. Not just the impeachment, but the saving of the lives of drug users, the Fox News host that we see.
It said that he's cuffed and for sanctioning the deaths of hundreds of millions of people and lied to the public.
Yeah, that's the chief of staff. That she gets to give the speech at the end, which also makes me wonder, do they think the chief of staff is next in line for it? Because she says, I am proud to be responsible for his impeachment, and I will do everything I can to ensure a smooth transition of power.
Coup. Maybe it's a coup.
I mean, that's the thing you say if you're the VP about to take over. It's not the thing you say if you're the outgoing chief of staff who presumably is going to be replaced too in short order.
Yeah.
Especially because we now know she's a massive junkie drug user.
She just likes to toke a little bit. You know, it's a hard job.
What do you think her drug of choice was? Was it, should I read the list again?
Something
it was
weed. Or maybe heroin between her toes. I don't know.
I'm going to go with crystal meth. Yeah.
I believe in crystal meth, 'cause I believe in me.
Get off my plane.
What do we know about our president?
We know that winning the war on drugs would be a major victory for him.
Yep.
We also know that Fox News had no problem shitting on the guy when it looked like he had some controversy swirling.
Indeed.
Which is going to be a pretty big obstacle for us to try to. Because I feel like this is kind of straightforward what this guy is. This is 2017. This isn't 2007 where you could say any president would want to win the war on drugs. This is 2017, as many states are already starting to, if not go the medical marijuana route, outright legalize. We're seeing a very clear divide in how drugs are viewed, and he is definitely taking the stance as if the 80s never ended. He is just say no.
He's taking the stance as if he's former Philippines President Duarte.
Yeah. Meets Nancy Reagan, all rolled into one. And Mr. T, all rolled into one. The Duarte Nancy teacup. But, I mean, we know, get a very small circle.
Very small circle. He's got a southern accent.
He never leaves the Oval Office.
Never leaves the Oval Office. He doesn't have any photos of anybody in the Oval Office. There's no family. Some movies have that, what would you call it, like a bureau, some sort of standing table behind the Resolute desk, where they usually have a picture of their family. They have some mementos on it.
Well,
he has none of that.
He's got none of that.
We know he's sexist. We know he's kind of myopic.
No mention of a first lady. He's okay with, apparently, genocide against drug users.
Yeah. Is it a genocide, though?
Allowing hundreds of millions of a very specific demographic. I mean, it's a chosen demographic. It's not like...
He's not killing them. The genocide is committed by Poppy.
Anyway.
But even when he's talking to Poppy, he's got nobody in the room with him.
No.
He's the master negotiator.
They don't give us a whole lot other than the fact that we know that he really sees this as a very clear-cut, easy decision to make. There is no waffling.
But
no
here's
wavering.
the thing, though. There's no waffling, but he is hiding because he's like, yeah, I'm totally going to negotiate with her. I'm not going to negotiate with her. Not at all. You know what I mean? So it's like, we won the war on drugs, but can he ever truly take credit for that? Like, let's see he gets away with it, right?
Yeah.
Everybody dies, and everybody thought he was going to make a deal with Poppy, and he could always be like, Poppy pulled out of the deal because she's a fucking crazy drug dealer. What am I going to do about it? Well, but also, there's no more drugs to sell because everybody's dead. Like, he can't take credit for winning the war on drugs.
What was his end game? Because we know people are happy. We're told by Fox News, people are overwhelmingly happy with his response when his response seems to be one of working with Poppy to help the drug users.
Yeah.
So, like, if they're happy with that and he decides to undo that, what does he think's going to happen when the real plan comes out?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. He must have someone to blame it on, somehow blame it on Poppy. But that said, to make that work, he's got to also try to kill her or get to her. He's got no plans for that either. He's not sending in SEAL Team 6. He's not telling the general, hey, find this Poppy person.
Find her.
That's not going on.
So he's not the best at plans.
No, he's not. He's not really thinking as D-dimensionally as.
Which makes me think he's probably he's probably a governor from a dumb fucking state, and he has no no background in international policy. He has no background in true negotiation. He's amazingly unprepared for the job.
I mean, I can see governor because he definitely has like Gavin Newsom vibes, if not hair.
Yes, he does.
But that said, I can also see him being just a feckless senator for a number of years once he realizes that you can sit in the Senate for a long time without actually doing anything. He cares about the politics a lot. He mentions that line, politics is easy. Maybe that's his way of saying he wasn't a politician beforehand.
That's true.
He could be.
Well, because he's very, he's Trump, right? He's Trumpian.
Well, I mean, we have to get into the 2017 of it all, except for the fact that 2017, this movie came out. The movie was, if not shot, definitely written pre-Trump.
Written pre-Trump, but made during his first year in office.
Released during his first year in office. In fact, this movie was released in September of 2017.
I guess he kind of also looks like Mitt Romney also.
Talking about the idea that who did he have in mind when he was writing it? Yeah, so Vaughn probably liked Mitt Romney based on everything that Ben's read about him. Wait, where'd you read he was conservative?
His Wikipedia page.
Oh, really?
His Wikipedia page.
Okay. Yeah, he might have been a Romney fan, but that's...
His PR person, when I got into it with her, I was like, I need to know his politics. She was like, just fucking check it. Just check his Wikipedia page.
But British conservative is very different from American conservative. It's not a one-to-one swap.
Not one-to-one, but...
But it was, let's see, it was production. This thing was produced on 29th of April, 2015, and Fox announced the sequel was in production. And then began shooting in February 2016. So, an election was going on, but at the time the election started, the idea of a President Trump was still considered a long shot.
A bit of a joke.
Yeah.
But so much of this president's actions are evocative of Trump. Throwing the book at and going hard after low-level criminals, putting people in cages, no benefit of the doubt, turning on your own for not being sufficiently loyal.
The cage thing was really weird, how they just kind of creating these detention facilities where people were being held in cages like that. There's no way they could have seen that coming. And yet they kind of nailed that detail.
Yeah. And probably they went with it because, like, whatever shitty computer program they were using for the visual effects, they were like, just put them in cages. That'll be easier.
What else is there to say about this guy? He likes alcohol enough where he keeps the whiskey in the Oval Office. So he's a drinker, and his veins do not turn blue. He's not a hypocrite.
No, he probably owns some stock in the Statesman.
Oh, you know what? They didn't lace ketamine. So maybe he is like a CEO of some kind.
Or they didn't lace anabolic steroids.
That's true. Or judging by his hair, minoxidil.
Yeah.
Propecia. Those some nice locks you got there, Bruce Greenwood.
Although I would, if she put it in Viagra, I hate to see that blue rash.
That would be interesting. I mean, I would like to have seen that movie where you're going after the male.
I'm leaning in to see what you say next.
No, I'm just saying there is something to be said about going after products that are really geared towards, men's insecurities and weaknesses.
Yeah, it would be the male version of the substance.
The stuff that men do to conform with the identity that they believe they should have but don't have because they don't have the genetics for it, but they're okay faking it through chemicals.
Yeah, the substance. You didn't see that?
I don't watch scary movies, Ben.
That's why you didn't do Chucky with me last year?
You didn't even finish Chucky.
We are pimping old episodes tonight hard, and it's so organic. I really like it.
Motherfucker, I'm not asking if you're interested. I'm the president of the United fucking States, man.
What does this say about 2017, which we've kind of been talking about already as we've been discussing the president of the movie? The imagery is very evocative of, we mentioned Katrina. We mentioned the fact that the president is, if not Romney-esque, he's not a Bushy.
No, he's oddly Trumpian. I mean, he's willing to turn on his own people and on his own citizens very quickly.
But he's not seeing any financial gain to it. There's no grift to it. Like, for example, we it's not like we find out that he, came from a family that owned, like, he's an Anheuser or something.
Yeah.
That would have been something. So he definitely thinks he's doing the right thing. He thinks he's in the moral green.
Yeah.
He thinks he's doing the right thing, not just politically, but he has no qualms from any perspective on what he's doing. They nailed certain Trumpian elements. They definitely stepped into the tensions of it all. I mean, they got right that the White House would be tuned to Fox News for most of the day.
I mean, to me, it's just pretty clear that the view on 2017 is that there are good citizens you take care of, and the bad ones that break the law, no matter how small the law, no matter whether it's weed, whether it's coke or whatnot, you do the crime, you do the time, and sometimes that crime and time, I'm trying to look for a rhyme that goes with suffering so hard that, you start bleeding out through your nose, which I don't think that there's a word for that. Maybe in German there is. Yeah, it's a lack of empathy from our leaders.
Lack of empathy for the frailty of man. And by man, I'm not just speaking general about man. Oh, I mean men specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think that Matthew Vaughn is saying? The first time I saw this movie, I thought it was interesting in that it was trying to make sympathetic victims out of drug users.
If the only drug she sold was weed, right? Let's say she was just weed. I think you'd be like, the president's a fucking monster. All these people this is crazy that it's gotten to this point. Legalize it. But when you get into the other drugs that are like quite dangerous, and I don't even know whether the other cartels would want this, Yes, she is the number one drug dealer in the world. Congratulations, Poppy Adams. You did the work. But there are probably other drug dealers in the world and other cartels in the world that are like, wait a second, if it's legal, then the price of this is going to go down. Because ultimately she wants to legalize it, not necessarily so she can make more money. It's so that she doesn't have to fucking live in Cambodia anymore.
Right. No, she wants to come back to her MBA reunion at Harvard Business School.
HBS.
No, it is interesting about the fact that the president has no problem literally killing the customer base.
Allowing the customer base to die.
But not killing the actual people delivering the drugs. So in a weird way, it's almost an inverse of
what the president's doing right now.
Which we don't talk about.
But also, nobody ever, within his circle, within his triangle of trust, nobody's like, maybe we should try to engineer an antidote on our own.
Yeah. To at least give it to the kids, maybe. But what I'm trying to say is, so let's say there really are drugs coming in on boats from Venezuela, which is not the first country.
Or wherever.
Wherever. Do you think on board those boats is quite the mix of drugs that Poppy is in that? Like, are you going to see cannabis, cocaine, heroin, opium, ecstasy, and crystal meth all coming from the same distribution network, the same cartel?
No, you have to, but Poppy went to HBS, so she understands that you got to diversify.
She's pretty darn diversified. Like, she is the Mark Cuban of the drug trade. Although I guess he wants to get into drugs himself. He's got that whole pharmaceutical thing going, trying to undercut. Yeah. Look, the movie has definitely stumbled into some real life issues. In the end, it is a cartoon. So what does it say about 2017? I think you're right when it's getting to the fact that by that point that they're writing it, they view the President of the United States as a purely political animal, a bit of an empty suit, who ultimately cared more about appearing to be a good person than actually being a good person.
Yeah.
This is a presidential favor.
So what do we think the American people think about this president after he's impeached? What's his approval rate?
The fact that he got impeached at all leads one to believe that he had to be pretty darn unpopular. Because if he had any popularity, if enough people were saying damn straight, let them all die, then he doesn't get impeached. Maybe it's because we're putting 2018 to now politics back on this 2017 movie. Maybe back in 2017, you might believe you could impeach a president simply for committing crimes or at least being indifferent to the deaths of millions and abdicating responsibility to try to help your own citizens.
Yeah.
But I think we've seen since then that doesn't matter. All that ultimately matters, whether you get impeached or not, is would doing so help the careers of the people who are going to have to vote to do it.
Yeah.
And so if he's viewed as a liability for his party and you want that VP to move up, you do it. Which leads one to believe that maybe people really like this guy's VP. We don't know his first lady, but he might have a great first mate.
Perhaps. I think, there'll still be 20% of the people when they hear what he wanted to do, they'll be like, yeah, I would have been okay with that.
Yeah, but think about all the red states that were going to be wiped out by the crystal meth of it all.
They're fine with those. They're like, our property values are about to go up.
Yeah.
No more meth heads. You know who would be in the most trouble and who was most worried about it during this time would be the producer of the TV show Cops.
Oh, yeah.
No meth heads to chase.
And less funding for cops because Poppy explicitly points out one of the benefits is saving money on law enforcement.
Yeah, so this is not a world any of us want to live in, where there's not meth heads running through the streets of whatever town, DeKalb, Georgia, Birmingham, Alabama. Then we can't watch it on TV? Forget that. I want to live in that world.
Okay, so his ultimate approval ratings, I can say, are pretty darn low. We know he got impeached. They pulled the trigger on this. We want to say he's very conservative coded. We want to say he's very Republican coded.
He wants to win the war on drugs. Just even referring it to the war on drugs. He's definitely he's a one-term Republican who not only does he get impeached, but it seems like he winds up in jail somehow. What's he being charged with?
Well, you say one term because he seems to be thinking about his political future.
Yeah, but for real, why he's cuffed for what? What was the crime?
Lying to the American public.
You get handcuffed for that?
They say he actively sanctioned the death of hundreds of millions of people.
So what's the crime?
Wire fraud?
That's probably it. And then the fine print was like he has a bunch of girls that he's taking across state lines.
Or maybe he's in handcuffs because his successor is just really big into like political retribution.
Yeah, I guess.
We still love Bruce Greenwood.
Put him in every president movie. It's great.
But this president sucks. Yeah. And not because of his politics. I want to make that clear. We're not saying he sucks because we think he's politically one way or the other. We're saying he sucks because he just ultimately makes a decision that really fucking sucks. Right? Oh, wait, no, Ben's shaking his head. Oh, Ben is actively lighting up a crack pipe right now as we record this.
Was crack on the... Well, cocaine was on the list, so I guess crack was also.
But that said, though, if she's really selling the finest stuff, then the people who buy the most low-grade stuff are probably not getting it laced with the virus. So maybe that's the ultimate message. Buy cheaper drugs.
Well, I think the lesson is buy American. America first.
I mean, if you're buying homegrown weed, how is she going to get her engineered virus into it?
Exactly. So the war on drugs is not over.
So you got to produce it domestically.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Food for thought, Ben.
You still got that Chinese ecstasy. You still got that Hungarian heroin. You still got that Filipino PCP coming into the country. It's not all just coming from Poppy.
No.
But still, I think everybody needs to. It's the time of year where you're getting your family gifts. That it is important to buy American, no matter what. Whether it's electronics, whether it's your clothes, whether it's your recreational drugs.
This has been Fake Presidents.
I've been Ben Oren.
I've been Eric Buckman.
Artwork. Ann Haggart. Artwork on our website. Artwork on YouTube. Our YouTube channel that you could check us out on. Artwork on the t-shirts, the merch that we now have. If we can monetize Ann's work, how can we monetize your brother-in-law's music? Well, we put out a soundtrack, the official President's Podcast soundtrack. Look, on CDs. That worked for Garden State. That worked for Train Spotting. You come up with the fucking hot soundtrack. Yeah. You move some of them CDs. Would he be upset if I just put it on, like Apple Music or Spotify? I think he still owns the music. Yes, he does. You can find us on social media. We're at fake_presidents on most media out there. Find us on YouTube. You can see our faces on YouTube. You can see some of us.
on YouTube.
That's kind of a weird way to say it.
No, I mean, when I say simple, I mean, like, right now you can definitely see
The newer
excerpts.
stuff, yes.
Our email address is fakepresidents@gmail.com.
Rate, review, subscribe. All that stuff is nice.
Yeah.
I guess this is the last episode of the year.
Unless it's the first one of next year. Depends on how much time we have.
Bang this out. Well, everybody enjoy their Christmases and their Hanukkahs and their Kwanzas and their New Year's and their Chinese New Year's.
Yeah, you know, Ben, I'm going to say it. I'm tired of the war on happy holidays. See you in the new year, when we'll be sure to cover Armageddon unless it's still not streaming anywhere, in which case we'll probably do a different movie.
We'll do something else. Bye.
Bye. Ben, did you receive anything in the mail in the last week?
I did. I received this package in a FedEx that came to my household.
Not a FedEx. It was priority mail.
Priority mail.
I wasn't going to spend more than $10 to get it to you.
It says, Ben, do not open until Hanukkah and/or our next recording session.
Yeah,
that is exactly what this is. I have no idea what's in this.
Yeah, you're not going to do an amazing, was it Kreskin?
Carmack?
What's the, Carmack?
Amazing Carmack? Carmack?
It's a manila envelope for those not watching at home.
Oh, no, I'm allergic to manila envelopes.
It's an envelope from Manila. It's a manila envelope with something inside that's bigger than a letter, but smaller than most other things.
I'm going to open, there's some ASMR stuff. Ooh. Is this a legal envelope? And in it is another bag, which I didn't know. So far, I opened up the USPS envelope. In it was the
manila envelope.
Folded up manila envelope. Within that said manila envelope, there's another bag.
Yes. This is from the
This is a Russian doll. Oh, more ASMR. So soothing. Now I'm opening up the bag for everybody who's not watching. I've learned that for a podcast, you need to tell everybody what you're doing. Otherwise, you have dead air. Okay, here we go. We've opened up the bag, and within it, there is a shirt. This merch? What is this? It's merch! We have merch! It's the official... Oh, no! It's the official Fake Presidents t-shirt?
Front and back.
Oh, I didn't even look at the back. But I am looking at the back now. It's our official logo.
That would be our wonderful artwork as done by Ann Hecker. Now
this is awesome.
Forever immortalized on the most premium t-shirt that Cafe Press can provide.
It smells fresh. I love it, Eric. Thank you so much.
Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas.
Everybody who's just listening to the podcast right now cannot see the big smile on my face.
Yeah. It's very comfy.
I love it. Are we going to make these? Are we going to sell these?
Technically, we could, except in order to get the cost down enough that it would be worth it to buy, we'd have to get a lot of people to want them.
I know a guy. Let's see what we could do.
I was thinking we could maybe we should order a few more just to have on us for maybe one or two select fans, and we'll find a way to get it to them.
Well, then should we also invest in a t-shirt cannon?
Assuming you're not intending to use that t-shirt cannon to deliver it across the country.
I think we could get a pretty powerful one. I think that'd be pretty impressive.